Hey, welcome back to the channel. I thought today we'll do Lamb of God's Laid to Rest. So before we start, just a little bit of background on this. I love Lamb of God. They're one of my favorite bands of all time, and this album is killer. I love the guitar sound. I love the raspy attack of those Mark IVs. The drums are really punchy. Everything about it. The songs are really progressive. It's just a great album that I love playing. In the mid-2000s, we had the Guitar Hero franchise, and they had, I think Guitar Hero 2 had Laid to Rest as one of the songs. Unlike later Guitar Hero games, that Guitar Hero game did not use the original recordings of the songs. They were covers. And because of that, there's an isolated guitar track floating around on the internet that people assume is the original recording, but it's not. It's stemmed from the Guitar Hero game, and it's actually played by Marcus Henderson, and it's just his interpretation of the song. So for that reason, a lot of the tabs and a lot of people that have learnt it playing his notes. So I've learnt it by watching live footage, every little bit of live footage on this song. I always watch Mark and Willie really closely, and we're guitar players. My channel stemmed because I love Lamb of God and people were playing a lot of the riffs wrong. So this goes back a long time, and hopefully I can share today how they're actually playing it. So please, without sounding arrogant, it's no fault of anyone's, and I don't like you playing it wrong because of it. It's just how it is. Anyway, we'll just get into this lesson. It's a very cool song. So you saw how that starts. It's a real chunky, always on the after the 3 burst, and you palm mute the D string, and then 6-5-3, 8-5-6, 8-5-4, and then you slide that 4 up to the 7. Just repeat that and play it slowly. Next part of the riff. Right, that's a bit of a mouthful, that one, but we'll just break it down, get it slow. What's easy about this is it's the same riff every single time. It doesn't change, so you only have to learn it once, and then it just repeats. So we'll just get this first little bit down, and pretty much that's the main guts of this whole song. That second part slowly. And I find that fingering is the easiest way to play this song. I really hope you followed and got that. It's not hard, and those tabs for that part are right. So all this part you can find in all the tabs. And then you get into the main chunky riff here. The first time it's just a, and then the second time, if you got that, and you just add that artificial harmonic in the right spot so you get the right note. Another trick when doing this, because you're bending so hard, you often unmute these lower strings here, and they often ring out when you can hear that. Sometimes I do it myself. Is you really got to get this middle finger strong, and I leave my pointer finger muffled on the strings on the front, just to stop those unwanted strings. So, because with artificial harmonics, to make them sound really accented and really accentuate what they are, you've got to mute every other string. They don't work really well if other strings are ringing. So we have that riff. And all that's palm muted except when you get to the... So there you can see I'm going the 2-3-2, then 5-4-3. Then back into the chugs. And that repeats until the last time when they go into the change, whenever they change out of this riff to go into either the verse or this intro thing that Mark does. instead of going, it goes the 3, 2, 1. So that whole section will just play slowly. And then we're into the intro here where Willie is doing the... He's doing that, and Mark is actually playing this piece up here. And the easiest way, this has essentially got 2 shapes to it. And the shape 1 is 13 on the B, 15 on the G, and 12 on the D. If you can just do this shape, look, it's I'm just helping you out for the long run because there's other notes we hit, but these are essentially the 2 shapes. So, and the other shape is 11, 14 on the G, and 12 on the D. If you can swap them just like open chords and just remember those shapes, it'll make it a hell of a lot easier for you to play this really clean. The actual riff starts on the 15th on the G, and he slides down with his little finger. Again. And straight away you play that shape. And the way I do it and the way I see Mark do it is you sort of, you have to drag pick this. If you try and alternate pick it, it gets really hard. And then you change straight away from there to that other shape. And we start it again. Those 2 shapes that I was showing you. Or the way that I do it as well, and I'm sure he does it, when that change happens from the... and it's quite quick to get to the next one, you only, as soon as you hit that D, you can pretty much release it and the open harmonic rings out. And that gives you time then to change to the next one. You can hear that overtone ringing out between the chords, so it always sounds good. If you got that, so that the whole riff is actually really easy. If you just break it down, you try and drag pick it like I'm doing. And there you have it. He plays that a few times, and after that finishing note, you go back down and we play this chugging riff again. And then we're into the verse. We play that through twice, and then we're into the chorus, or what is like a pre-chorus. Willie keeps on playing, repeating that same verse riff, and Mark plays the those droning chords on the outside. Right, so I'm just hitting octave chords there on a D down to the C, up to the G, into the F sharp. And then he changes his hand shape and he actually plays the same, essentially the same sort of chord, but you're utilizing the 2 D strings in octaves from each other. And that is on the 10th, down to the 8th, down to the 7. Then the 5, 8, 7. And then 3, 1, open. So to tie in all those chords, right, so this riff here, this is a really cool one. It starts off, it's got two sections to it. The first section is all open strings pretty much, but the notes are 6, 3, 5, open. Then 1, 3, 1, open. Again, 6, 3, 5, open. If we could follow that, after the second time we do this, we go open, 1, 3, and we have to chug these. And did you see that? I actually slide that up with my pointer finger really quickly. So chugging, open, 1, 3. And then you get to the 5th pretty quickly with your ring finger, and you give it it's just only a half bend with the artificial harmonic. And you have to come out of that and hit that 3rd fret there. And then back to the repeating again. This one repeats and it gets toward the end of the song. You can hear at one point when that change happens to the focused part, the guitar parts actually play this. If you caught that. Like a bit of a shuffle there, and you can hear it doubling with the drums as well, the double kicks. If you can see that, and that's how they play the focus part of the riff. Hopefully you have that. It's not really hard. It's just a cool riff, and it sounds a lot better when you play these clean and you let the palm muted parts stay nice and heavily palm muted, and you let those other notes ring out. And then it changes. So after that riff, there's a few ways the song goes depending on the verse and where you are in the song. Sometimes the first time it goes back to the second time, just before the bridge, you actually go down to the 1st fret. So we all know that part of the song where Mark used to jump off the cabinets and the whole concert erupted. But and then it just does the same thing and goes from the 1st fret to the open. And again, I don't know if in the live setting they alternate pick this, but I think when I hear it on the record, I can hear like it's all downstroke. And then we get to that verse that at that point there, you just complete the riff as per usual. And then straight into that other bridge riff. And we play that again. When this riff winds up, we're getting really close to the end of the song here. The riff finishes, and it does with Mark playing one part, Willie playing the other part, and I'll just play both parts, and you'll get what I mean. So Mark's part, Willie's part, and Willie's part, I think he tries to hit a artificial harmonic there, but it doesn't quite sound it. the fast riff at the end of the song. And this is the main one that everyone gets wrong. If we can do that. Some of those notes on the upstrokes, you let them ring out. And you start this on the upstroke. And I see them play it just with their pointer finger. And you sort of roll it around to... If we can do that. And then the second shape is actually going to first fret on the D string, and you got to reach up to the 5th fret on the open on the low D, down to the F. So again. And then we move up to this shape here. So that's just... And it finishes, believe it or not, on the open A and the 4th and the 1. And you finish on the 1st fret there. Back to the start. At that point, you've pretty much finished the song. Willie goes back into the standard chugs. And Mark just finishes with that same riff. That's it. It's a really great song. Super fun to play. Please have a go learning it. It was my first Lamb of God song to play. I wasn't even that much into them at the time, and my drummer was like, "Mate, you got to learn this," and I did, and I couldn't stop learning it. I had to learn Hourglass next, and I just went through the whole album and loved it all. It was actually learning the Lamb of God riffs was a game changer for me. It actually I could play pretty well before it, but learning those Lamb of God riffs, it taught me to more or less train my hands to be more robotic. Hence the riffs are inside out, back to front. It's real finger twisting, changing. So you have to, your fingers are now just do that. Like there's no muscle memory left in my fingers for where they used to go to make standard chords. The Lamb of God riffs really taught me that you play one part forwards, the next part's backwards with a finger in a different spot, and that's how all the riffs are constructed, and they're scrutinized, and Mark and Willie, John Campbell do an amazing job just articulating and getting those riffs to sound cool, but they're super technical at the same time. So please, if you enjoyed this lesson, you want to see more Lamb of God lessons or anything like that, let me know, and I'll see you next time. Thanks very much. Bye.